quiet your monkey mind. I'm sure you've heard that saying before: meditate, breathe, silence the chatter. It sounds wise, but it's actually terrible advice. Maybe the worst advice you can get, because here's what they're not telling you. You can't silence the monkey mind. It runs 24/7. It doesn't turn off when you sleep. In fact, it's strongest when you're asleep. It doesn't turn off when you meditate. In fact, it never stops. But that doesn't make it a disease or a bug in your system. That's literally the whole point of it. See, your monkey mind isn't the problem. It's your most powerful mind. Some would call it your God mind. That's because it is eternal, has infinite creativity and perfect memory. The part of you that dreams entire universes every night while your conscious mind is offline. So why is everyone telling you to shut it off? Because they figured out how to use it to benefit themselves. Every platform, news cycle, and algorithm are fighting for your attention, fighting for access to your monkey mind. And once they get inside, they can make you want things you don't need. They can make you fear things that aren't real. They can keep you feeling anxious, distracted, and keep you doom scrolling. The popular advice to quiet your mind doesn't fix this. It makes it worse, because the moment you stop meditating and pick your phone back up, your God mind is wide open, and they know exactly what to feed it. So no, you don't need to silence your monkey mind. You need to understand what it actually is, why it's so powerful, and how to stop letting other people hijack it for their benefit instead of yours. Pay attention, because that's what you'll discover inside this video. First, you have to understand you have two minds, a conscious mind and an unconscious mind. Most people think the monkey mind is the conscious one. All those racing thoughts and mental chatter, they assume that's consciousness going haywire. It's not. The monkey is your unconscious. Think about this. Your conscious mind can be turned off, like when it's sleeping or under hypnosis, but your unconscious mind never stops. It is running right now. It was running while you were asleep last night, and it will keep running no matter what you do. So when someone tells you to silence your monkey mind, they're asking you to do something impossible. That's like telling your heart to stop beating. You can't silence what can't be turned off. In a recent article, Mike Hockney recently explained how the two minds work. Your conscious mind does one thing at a time. That's all it can do. It can focus on one thing and make one decision at a time. It moves sequentially, so this, then that. Your unconscious mind is running 1,000 processes in parallel right now. While you're watching this, it's helping you digest your food, monitoring your heartbeat, processing your memories, scanning for threats, and working on problems you forgot you were thinking about. Have you ever had a great idea hit you in the shower, or right before you fell asleep, or while going for a walk? Your unconscious was working on it the whole time. So your unconscious mind generates the content that your conscious mind then selects. The unconscious mind throws up tons of options, and then your conscious mind picks which ones get attention. Think of how a Fortune 500 company works. The CEO doesn't run all the logistics, handle customer support, and manage the warehouse. His job is to make decisions. The company serves him information, and he chooses what to act on. Based on what he chooses, determines what all the employees of the company work on, and then from those developments the CEO makes more decisions. But now, imagine the CEO tried to do everyone's job. He would be way too overwhelmed, which would lead to him making terrible decisions. He would end up destroying the company. That's what happens when you try to silence your monkey mind. What you actually end up doing is asking the CEO to shut down the entire company and do everything himself. But that's not what the conscious mind is for. So let's stop pretending the monkey mind is a malfunction. It's not. Thompson J. Hudson talks about how the unconscious mind is eternal, has perfect memory, and has infinite creativity. What does that sound like? That's not a monkey mind. That's a God mind. Your monkey mind is your God mind, and it's foundational. It came first. Your conscious mind evolved from it. The unconscious is the base layer, and consciousness is the late addition. So when people tell you to silence your monkey mind, they're telling you to silence the deepest, oldest, most powerful part of yourself. And by the way, if you believe humans evolved from apes and the unconscious is the foundational mind, then monkey mind is actually the perfect name for it, isn't it? But if the God mind is always running, always hunting, and always looking for something to lock onto, what is it actually after? Survival. That's the surface answer. Self-preservation, reproduction, protecting offspring, and basic biological drives. But underneath that, there is something deeper. A drive to grow, expand, and become more than you currently are. Nietzsche called it the will to power. I'm not talking about power over people. I'm talking about power over yourself, the relentless drive to level up so you can become something greater than what you were yesterday. That's what's behind all those racing thoughts. Remember, your mind isn't broken. It's hunting, hunting for something to create and move toward. That drive never stops. But that brings the question, what does it lock onto? Because it will lock onto something. And this is where things can get dangerous. Because even though your monkey mind is your God mind, infinitely powerful, it has one massive vulnerability if you're not careful. And if you don't understand this, everything else I'm telling you is useless. So your unconscious monkey mind is highly suggestible. That means it doesn't question what goes in. It doesn't do any fact checking or asking if something is true. Whatever you feed it, it accepts as reality and starts acting on it. There is no filter or resistance to stop it. That's not a flaw in the design. It's how it's designed. That's what makes it so powerful. See, the same openness that lets it absorb skills, languages, and patterns is what makes it vulnerable to anything that gets to it. The problem is that whoever controls the suggestions controls your God mind. I'll say it again. Whoever controls the suggestions controls your God mind. We live in a suggestion-driven world. Every ad you see is a suggestion. Every headline is a suggestion. Every notification, every scroll, every comment. Suggestions, programming, instructions being fed directly into the most powerful part of you. And it's not accidental. There are people, thousands of them, whose entire job is to figure out how to bypass your conscious mind and plant suggestions directly into your unconscious mind. They get paid millions to do it. They're smarter than you. They have better data than you, and they've been refining their techniques for decades. This is not a fair fight. Let me explain how this works. As I mentioned, your unconscious is wired for survival. Before we could think, all we could do was react, scan for threats, and respond to danger. That programming is still running. So what do news networks do? They lead with fear. They lead with conflict. They lead with anything that triggers your threat detection. Because once they trigger that survival response, your conscious mind, the director, the CEO, gets shoved aside. And now they're talking directly to the God mind. I was at my grandma's house the other day. She had the news on the TV, like always, so I muted it. But it didn't matter. My eyes kept drifting to that ticker at the bottom. The red banners, breaking news, scrolling headlines. I knew exactly what was happening. I knew it was designed to grab me. I knew, and I still couldn't look away. That's how strong this pull is. I'm aware of the game. I study this stuff, and I still got hooked. Now imagine someone who has no idea what's being done to them. Someone who thinks they're just staying informed. They're getting programmed. Remember, your conscious mind chooses from what the unconscious serves up. It basically picks from a menu, but it doesn't write the menu. The unconscious writes the menu. So if your unconscious is full of fear, the menu is all fear. Full of anxiety, the menu is all anxiety. Full of manufactured desire for things you don't need, guess what's on the menu? Your conscious mind thinks it's making its own choices, but it's choosing from options that were planted there by someone else. The game was rigged before you even started playing. And it gets worse. Scrolling puts you in a trance state. Think about how you feel when you're deep in a scroll. You're not really there. Time disappears. Your conscious mind is gone. That's hypnosis. The flickering screen, endless novelty, and dopamine hits are all designed to put your conscious mind to sleep so they can access your unconscious directly. And what are they feeding you while you're under? FOMO, fear of missing out, the feeling that somewhere something is happening without you, that you're falling behind, that everyone else is winning while you're standing still. That's your will to power being used against you. Remember, your God mind is always hunting for ways to grow, to expand, to level up. FOMO hijacks that drive and points it at their products, their content, their agenda. They've turned your greatest strength into a leash, and it's all deliberate so you stay anxious, keep consuming, and remain dependent on them so that you delegate your attention, money, freedom, and sovereignty to people who don't have your best interests in mind. So let's be very clear about what the problem actually is. The problem is not your monkey mind. The problem is not the racing thoughts. The problem is not that you can't focus. The problem is that they figured out how to hijack your God mind, and they're using it against you every single day. So what's the popular advice to overcome this problem? Sit in a room alone, sit cross-legged, close your eyes, and quiet your mind. You've heard it 1,000 times, and it sounds reasonable. If your mind is too loud, turn down the volume. Simple, right? Wrong. We already established this. You cannot silence your God mind. It runs 24/7. It doesn't have an off switch. Telling someone to quiet their monkey mind is like telling them to stop their heartbeat through willpower. It's not hard. It's impossible. Plus, when you try to quiet your monkey mind, you're asking your conscious mind to do something it was never designed to do. Remember the CEO. His job is to select, decide, direct, not to shut down the entire company, not to do everyone else's job. When you force the CEO to micromanage every department, the whole system breaks down. That's what quieting your mind actually is. It's the conscious mind trying to overpower the unconscious. It's a category error. You're using the wrong tool for the job. So meditation doesn't work the way people think it does. What does happen when you meditate? Your conscious mind, the director, the gatekeeper, the filter, it relaxes. And what's left wide open? Your highly suggestible unconscious, the part that believes whatever it's told, the part with no filter. Now ask yourself something. Why are tech giants pouring money into mindfulness apps? Why is Silicon Valley, the same people engineering the most addictive platforms in human history, suddenly so interested in helping you find inner peace? Think about the sequence. You open the mindfulness app. You meditate for 10 minutes. Your conscious mind goes soft. Then you close the app. And where are you? Still on your phone, one tap away from Instagram, TikTok, and the news, from all the platforms designed to hijack your unconscious. But now your gatekeeper is asleep, your filter is down, and you're more suggestible than before you started. Convenient, isn't it? I'm not saying meditation is useless. It might help with surface level anxiety. It might give you a moment of calm, but it does not solve the root problem. It can't. Millions of people meditate every day. Are they less anxious, less distracted, less depressed? Look around. The numbers are going up, not down. If meditation was the answer, we'd see results by now. So what's actually going on? The problem was never the volume of your thoughts. The problem is what your unconscious is serving up. And meditation doesn't change that. It just temporarily turns down the noise without changing the signal. Most people don't realize that your unconscious learns from two sources. First, what gets fed to you without your awareness. Every piece of content, every scroll, every ad, every headline that catches your eye for half a second all goes in. Your unconscious registers it even when you don't realize you're consuming it. Second, what you consciously choose. Every decision you make trains it. Every time you engage with something, you're telling your unconscious, more of this. It's exactly like a recommendation algorithm. You watch one video, the algorithm takes note, and then it starts serving you more of the same over and over until your entire feed is a reflection of every unconscious engagement you've ever made. Your unconscious works the same way. If you doom scroll for 2 hours, then your unconscious mind registers, this is what we want. Serve more anxiety. If you let fear-based news play in the background like my grandma, then your unconscious absorbs it and starts surfacing fear-based thoughts even though you never consciously chose to think them. So if you don't like what your monkey mind is serving up, meditation isn't the answer. You have to change the inputs, what you consciously choose, and what you let in without realizing it. Every conscious decision is a training session for your unconscious, but so is every passive exposure. You're always training it. So what can you actually do about all this? There are 3 things you can try. They're not complicated, but they require you to be honest with yourself. First, eliminate the noise. I don't care how much you meditate. I don't care how many breathing exercises you do. If you're still letting garbage into your unconscious mind, none of it matters. You're mopping the floor while the faucet's still running. Cut the harmful input. I'm not saying go cold turkey tomorrow. That rarely works anyway, but start deliberately limiting it. So try less news each day, less social media, and background noise. And once you see what that garbage was actually doing to you, you won't want it back. You'll remove it yourself, not because I told you to, because you'll finally see clearly what it costs. The second thing you can do is upgrade the inputs. As we've been talking about, your unconscious doesn't judge what goes in, it just absorbs and serves back. So stop feeding it junk food and wondering why it serves you junk thoughts. If you feed it something that actually makes you think, something that challenges you, something with depth, it starts serving you better options. You start having richer thoughts, deeper connections, and ideas you didn't know you were capable of having. So read something hard, not some self-help BS or productivity hacks, not whatever's trending this week. Read some Plato, Mike Hockney, the God series, study some mathematics. Third, train your conscious mind through creation. This one's important. Your conscious mind is a muscle. The more you use it for what it's designed to do, focus, decide, direct, the stronger it gets. The better it gets at filtering what the unconscious serves up. And the best way to train it is to create something. You can write, build, paint. It doesn't matter what you do. All that matters is that you're doing some sort of deep work, stuff that requires sustained focus and forces your conscious mind to stay engaged. At first, it's going to be hard. You'll feel like your conscious mind is doing all the heavy lifting, but then a shift happens. You will drop into a flow state, and while in flow, the 2 minds work better together. That's the goal. Not to silence your monkey mind, but to work with it. Why wouldn't you want to work with your God mind? And the really cool part is all the new good content you're consuming. When you're a creator, it becomes raw material. It then becomes fuel for you because you're not just passively absorbing trash content anymore. You're collecting ingredients for something you're going to create. This will improve your focus and help you consume better, which in turn helps you create better. And we are creators by nature. Think about your dreams. Every single night you create entire worlds with characters and storylines. All that is generated by your unconscious mind while your conscious mind sleeps. That's what your God mind can do. Now imagine what happens when you stop fighting it, start feeding it quality, and point it at something intentional. So the next time someone tells you to quiet your monkey mind, you call BS. Because now you know what the monkey mind actually is. It's not a malfunction or a problem to be solved. It's your God mind, the most powerful part of you, running 24/7, whether anyone likes it or not. You know what the conscious mind is. It's the director, the part that chooses from what the unconscious serves up. You know how they work together, and you know what happens when that relationship gets hijacked. This changes how you see every piece of content you consume. You'll see the game now. You can't unsee it. And no, this isn't about becoming paranoid. It's about becoming aware. Awareness is where change starts. The whole trick has been to keep you unaware, to keep you hypnotized, scrolling, consuming, and reacting, never questioning what's going into the most powerful part of your mind. They figured out they don't need to drug you. They can do it through content and feeds, through carefully engineered psychological triggers. They've been doing it for years, and it works incredibly well. But now you see it. Your monkey mind is your God mind, the foundation of everything you are. And this whole time, they've been telling you to shut it off. while they pump it full of whatever serves them. Now you know better. You don't silence your God mind. You feed it, train it, and work with it. You need better inputs for your unconscious, harder material, less noise, more signal, and you need more deep work for your conscious mind. Let them work together like a CEO in a company firing on all cylinders, but this time for your benefit, not theirs. So here's what I want you to do. Write down one thing you can change today. What's one input you can cut? One source of noise you can eliminate or reduce? What's one thing you can create? One way you can train your conscious mind through focus work? Start there. That's it. One and one. You don't have to overhaul your entire life by tomorrow. You just have to start training consciously, intentionally, one choice at a time. And if this video helped you see something you didn't see before, hit the like, drop a comment if you have questions, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Until next time.